segment of the news. My name is Daki, and I'm always here in your faces to give you guys all the report regarding Afrobeat and the guys that makes the beats. Quick one, I want to say big thank you to you guys out there. Thank you for everything you've done, your time, your energy, your consistency. Trust me, it's mean a lot to us, and we're saying massive thank you. Thank you for the love. It has been overwhelming. We also want to implore you guys to please and please and please, if you have a friend or you know that person that loves Afrobeat or stan one of the Afrobeat superstars, this is a good time to just share the space with that person, and I promise you, he or she is going to thank you later. Also want to also implore you guys to put on your notification button so you'll be the first person to know whenever we make a video post or a content. The news is buzzing, and you can now stream us to watch the news live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Please come through. We are waiting for you in the spaces. My name is Daki, like I've said. You can spell it as Darki. You know it as double E. We saw Davido coming out with a big announcement today, saying him and his obviously his foundation have decided to donate a huge sum of money. For last year, they did 250 million naira. Previous year, before his son died, we saw where he gave close to about 600,000 US dollars at the time for charity. That was about 600 million naira for charity. And this year, he's doing it bigger than last year, and then he's doing 300 million naira. Giving it to orphanage home across the country. And after he made the announcement, we saw all the bass boosts on Twitter. Daniel Rega came out with the confirmation, talking about his previous ordeals, saying Davido has been one person who is known for promise and faith. All of this information, I'll bring them to you in a bit. At the same time, we have Burna Boy. We saw one of the 30 BG armies came out to threaten Burna Boy, saying he was going to shoot him whenever he sees Burna Boy performing anywhere in Nigeria. What is Afrobeat turning into at this point? I think we just cross our hands and see where this will lead us to, because I'm sure we all don't want to see the sensation that happened to regarding the Tupac and Big era, and this might just be a time to ceasefire and call all affected parties to settle this amicably, because it is already going too far. Finally, we saw Rema gaining platinum in Spain with his song. What is this song? In the course of the news, we'll probably give you further details about all of their deals. Let's begin with no other person than Davido. We saw Davido album, talking about the Timeless album, as re-emerged at the UAE Apple Music Album Chart, and then for today, the project sit as number 9. For some reasons best known to the team, we're seeing Timeless having a resurgence. It's buzzing everywhere, doing massive numbers. Not only Timeless, I kind of feel like all other fave. Dave Wizkid is having two albums in the top 5 album in Nigeria. Burna Boy is having 2 albums in top 10. David is having 1 album. All of them are just getting numbers like from nowhere. Whiskey has about MLLE as number 5, and then Summer Volume 2 earlier as number 2, but now has dropped again. So it's been a tussle for money on how the big guys are coming back into the party, throwing all the smaller guys away from the charts. We saw Davido Timeless album is currently charting in 51 countries on Apple Music Top Album Chart. Davido earlier today was at 50 countries, but before the end of the day, it has added one more country to it. And in 51 countries, Davido Timeless is currently charting. And then check the chart numbers. It is charting with amazing numbers, not just 100 or something, but then massive numbers, most of them in top 10, top 20, top 30, and that is really impressive coming from Davido and the team. And moving on, we saw as much as he's doing that in 51 countries, he's making sure his home front is also not left out. Davido currently sits at number 2 on the Nigerian Apple Music Album Chart. We saw Benson, Cicely Benson, currently is at number 1, while Davido currently at number 2. For Benson, it's quite understandable because on TikTok he has been having some serious sensation. His sounds being used on almost every reel. You're seeing the sound, and that could have caused the resurgence of the song going back to number 1. But Davido is expected because they are the big one. They determine and they dictate how the chart looks like with their big figures, a big fan base, and it's expected that 30 BG will not watch FC come back to the party and not do something about it. So obviously they are pushing themselves to the next level. So if 30 BG is doing it, FC are also doing it to make sure they're not left behind. Outsiders also come to the party to also make sure they're not left behind. So regardless, our numbers on DSPs are increasing. That's a very big, very very good one, and we want to say congrats to everyone who has achieved on charts and numbers for today. And moving on, we saw Chris Brown's sensational changes position this week on the Pandora Music most streamed song at number 92. Amazing one. Chris Brown owned the song, but for now, off the 1111 album, this song, Sensational, is the most performing song of that particular album. And it just tell the influence Davido and Lojay brought together on the song. For some person, they believe Davido is the face of Afrobeats for some persons, while for others believe Mrs. Whiskey or Burna Boy. But regardless, you could just know that Davido is a force to be reckoned with when you talk about Afrobeat, and him on your song is a reassuring factor that your song has tendencies to do great numbers when he is on your song. I'm moving on. We saw where it came out to say, I and my foundation pledge the sum of 300 million naira to orphanages around Nigeria as my yearly contribution to the nation. Details of disbursement will be out tomorrow. So by tomorrow, he's going to be giving us details on how this money, 300 million naira, would be donated across the country. In dollars, this is about $210,000. Regardless, it was not forced, it was not beaten, it was not coerced, it was not bribed, it was not cajoled. He willingly brought out this money from his purse. That's just to tell you how much of a big heart Davido has got towards Nigerians. He might have his trade doing business all over in the world, but when they come back to the country, Davido has a soft heart for Nigerians, and he's always making sure he's putting laughter on people's face. Over the Christmas break, we saw Wizkid also doing his beat where he gave out the sum of 100 million naira to the children for Christmas. Davido is tripling that amount to give it to obviously the children, to orphanages who need this money, by giving them 300 million naira to support them in whatsoever, in the school, in feeding, whatsoever they would want to do with the money. Moving on, we saw Davido coming out with a cryptic post where he said, we can't question him. We thank God, all with the love emoji. At this point, we don't have details about what he meant at the time, but we're sure that his Davido, he would always give clarity to his conversations. Moving on, we saw Daniel Rega, Twitter activist, came out to say the last 250 million naira Davido supposedly donated to orphanages was not well accounted for. He's also yet to fulfill the 20 million naira pledge he made in form of a giveaway. Some same Davido has been accused of owing and seizing people's money, like that of Amaju Pinnick, but he wants to donate 300 million naira to orphanages around Nigeria. And you all wonder why Nigerian politicians can get away with with almost anything in the country. I think at this point, Daniel is already going way too far. You understand that, yes, you have issue with personal thinking. It is his choice, it is his money, and you could have decided that he was not going to do that again. Regardless, we don't have details about that. But then coming this far to make this post, you trust Twitter people, they came out, dragged him. But it is Daniel, he loved when he's been dragged on Twitter. Moving on, we saw Chris Brown sensational with Davido and Lojay at the time, as at today, has just been certified platinum in South Africa. That's a massive one. The song really is doing good numbers, giving Davido most of the first entries everywhere. The Billboard 100, the Billboard this, Billboard that, Billboard Rhythmic Airplay, Billboard song sales charts, Billboard Pop Airplay, Billboard Rhythmic Pop Airplay. You know, all numbers and charts Davido has been on, courtesy the song Sensational. Massive one, and like I said, it has been certified platinum in South Africa. Moving on, we saw Victony also coming through to laud Davido's benevolence, and then he said after the accident and all of that, he went through a whole lot, but then thankful to his fans, thankful to family and friends who came through and supported him through the journey. And then he said that was the reason why he was always giving them a letter to give them updates on how his health was at the time. Massive one. So after he had the accident, he couldn't walk, he was on wheelchairs at the time. And the first time he walked after that time was at Davido's concert at the Cool Hotel, where he celebrated 10 years on stage. And then we saw Victony coming out to say he knew he could walk 2 weeks before that day. And then he told his team he felt like his fans deserve to know he can walk through a proper platform. And then he said he had a Davido show to attend, and then they went there and discussed with Davido. He also came out to give a shout out to Davido for supporting him all the way. Davido's around, supported him at every point he can, financially, mentally, everywhere. Davido was just there to make sure that he got back on his feet. And then speaking of Adesope, he came out and lauded Davido's benevolence greatly. We saw, I think at this point, right, this is like a conspiracy thingy that Twitter guys are about to set up. Davido, at the 1st of March last year, we saw where he dropped the Timeless album. Now, this particular person had an archive where he had all of this figured out. He said, Davido Timeless was out at exactly 12 a.m. on 31st of March 2023. Jada P tweeted more loveless ego hashtag at 12:05, same day, and deleted it. Today, Davido promised to donate 300 million naira to orphanage. Moment later, Jada P tweeted money can't buy love, lol. And then he's concluding that it's either Jada P hates Davido or she is jealous of Davido. All of this could just be coincidence, but regardless, he has connected the dots to say Jada is against Davido. Moving on, we have Burna Boy, the old Davido and Jada P. If it gets so serious, we probably will not leave here, but then let's see what Burna Boy is also doing in his apartment. We saw Burna Boy occupies 6 spots on the Suriname Apple Music Top 10 song. We have songs like It's Plenty, Roller Coaster, How Bad Could It Be, Solid, Vanilla, Wild Dreams, all of this song occupying top 6, occupying 6 spots on the top 10 chart. Just so you know, It's Plenty number 1, Roller Coaster number 2, How Bad Could It Be number 3, Solid with Kelani number 4, Vanilla number 5, and Wild Dreams was carried at the same time, sitting as number 6. At the same time, we saw Love Damini. Love Damini album is currently charting on Apple Music in 68 countries, and it is the most for any African album. Burna Boy has produced so many projects from outside, moving to the era of African Giant, Towards the Store, Love Damini, I Told Them, and albums in between. But regardless, Love Damini has proven to be that project that is standing the test of time. And as at today's date, the album is gone. There's a new album already, but then Love Damini is still looking like the first to be reckoned with. We saw the album is charting in places like for UAE 19, 21 in Jamaica, 23rd in Chad, 24th in Kenya, 26th in Antigua and Barbuda, 27 in Oman, 27 Saudi Arabia, 28 Guinea-Bissau, 29 Libya, 30 Trinidad and Tobago, 31 Grenada, 31 Swaziland, 35 Mauritania, 36 Bermuda, and miss other countries. This album, Love Damini, is proven that it's going to give every other new project a run for their serious money. Moving on, we saw apparently it's a conversation, a Twitter thread between a acclaimed, allegedly Davido fan, known by his name is actually out there. We saw where he actually came out to throw this at Burna Boy over the Bam Bam. Now there's been a Curtis underlying statement going on from last week to date, a underlying Curtis thingy, and then he's coming out to just point more light to it, saying this is why he doesn't like Burna Boy, and then back and forth. And we saw a Burna Boy supporter coming out to say, "Waiting you want to Burna," and then he said, See this one, like say your ape they immune to bullets. Too much talk on the full basket. Mind who you reply to, you this boy. So basically, he called Burna Boy an ape, and then he said nobody is immune to bullets. This Burna Boy said, the Burna Boy fan said, I have screenshotted this one. Now you won't go kill him. And then back and forth, and then he came out finally to say if he sees Burna Boy on the show in Lagos or something, if anything happens to Burna Boy, he is the one behind it. And I feel like at this point it's getting so messy. It should not even get to this point in the first place. It has always been love and light and missed Afrobeat space. Why should we go dirty over stancy and Afrobeat favoritism? We wish all of this can come to an end so that we can enjoy our Afrobeat in peace. Burna Boy is a great artist. David is a great artist. Wizkid is a great artist, and we can enjoy them in peace and harmony. Moving on, so Burna Boy is currently charting two albums simultaneously on Apple Music. Love That Minute sit at number 145, and I told them he's on his way out of the chart at number 191. Like I said, Love That Minute is that album that is a forcible record with album way over 2 years, is still doing good numbers and charting at number 149 on the USA Apple Music charts. Away from Burna Boy, let's see what Rema is also doing. Rema is calling my attention. Let me see what Rema is doing in his department. So, Fexo and Rema Bubalu has now been certified platinum in Spain. Just so you know, recall that Rema is the African artist with the most certification in Spain. Talking about three singles, and he has now sealed this record with all three singles certified platinum or higher. Calm Down has done three platinum, 44 has done one platinum, and now currently Bubalu has just done one platinum. Moving on, we saw Rema and Gomez Calm Down currently chart at number 17 on this week Indian singles charts. Having spent about 93 weeks on the chart, and when it was peaking, Calm Down with Gomez peaked at number one on the Indian chart for 24 consecutive weeks. Massive one, and that just tell how much of what Rema has done. Now we saw where he began his career. A lot of people came out to say he sounds like an Indian person. That was supposed to be this insult to Rema and all of that. Wanted to make Afrobeat lovers believe they could not love this person because of his Indian nature and all of that. But regardless, he has made sure he conquered Africa, conquered Europe, and then going to India to even chatting on their old numbers and all of that. For a long time, 24 weeks, it was their most streamed song in India, and for on the Apple Music category was at number one for 24 weeks, and that just left number one, but it's still doing number 17. Having spent about 93 weeks on the chart, 7 more weeks, Rema would have done 100 weeks on the Indian charts. Like I always say, we all threw lemon at him. He made lemonade out of it. At the same time, we saw Rema and Gomez Calm Down mix history as they become the first song to spend 100 weeks on the Billboard US Afrobeat song chart. At this point, like I can always say, it is now safe to call Rema one of the greatest of all time. With his numbers have been amazing. His records speak for itself. If Rema retires today, his CV is richer than so many artists who have been in the game for more than 10 years. His CV is so rich. He has done so many achievements for himself that are almost impossible to break. I want to say congrats to him for achieving that milestone. Spending 100 weeks on the charts just shows how much of a good artist you are. We saw Fexo and Rema Bubalu currently peaks at number 61 on this week Billboard Argentina Hot 100. And I kind of feel like Rema is going the blueprint of Burna Boy because we're saying him going to different places to have song and the song are having intentions. When Rema jumped on Bubalu, it was clear that that song was made for people in that zone, Argentina, Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago, South American places, Mexico, and all of that. And as of today, this album is already doing massive numbers in this region. In Spain, already got a platinum. In Brazil, doing good numbers. In Argentina, appearing on that Billboard charts. That is how much of a success Rema has worked out on, and then his project are doing good numbers. Like I said, this look like the blueprint of Burna Boy. My name is Daki, and this is where we draw the curtain on the news today. We'll catch you guys on the very next one. Please and please do take care of yourself. Have fun at work. If you're going home, be careful. Look at the bus before you enter. Check the road before you cross. We all need you alive. I love you guys so much. Please take care of yourself.